Working on the van today. Here's a tire carrier that I picked up a while back. It's for a Chevy, so it doesn't match up on the hinges, but most of it's there. So I got a couple things that cut weld fab. Lower mount is good, just like that. It's a little over the plate, but that's fine. This one on the upper, same thing, but this is way too high. So basically, I got to figure out how I'm going to drop this rear or this section down low, and then figure out how I'm going to mount the wheel onto this bracket. And the last thing over here, this is too long to fit the door overhang, so I'm going to cut this off, basically flip it 180 so it'll go on this side of the thing. Then when I cut these off, there's a good chance I might put it over on the other side so that outer door will swing open. Just a little bit of fab and figuring out how I'm going to make all this work. So I cut the bracket off that mounts the door. This used to sit on the van like so. It could be too far out, and then it would level out and bolt in on here. So what I'm going to do is just flip that 180. I'm going to cover up some of the pinstriping on here, but if I turn this bracket around, weld this right to the frame on the back side. I can do this once I get the mount completely done, but that'll get welded there, and it'll bolt into the left door. I still got a silicone that or glue that one back onto, so the pins are just worn out, but tire carrier is going to cover up most of it. Kind of blocks the plate, doesn't really matter to me. Let's see, switch it if I get a problem. Worst case, I can flip it over to this side, but the right door being the main access one, so let me open and close it. Let's see the ceilings that we just finished up, almost finished up. But plenty of room to open and close, so keep jamming away on this thing. Started hacking this thing up into a million little bits. This is the upper mount that we were going to use. This is the original piece. I still got to trim this and mark this down for the angle. Here's the old bracket that I'm going to weld on. This is going to be the last piece I do once I get the rest of the frame set up. Here's the original one. Lower mount's good. The lower half is going to stay intact. Just cleaning up some of the powder so I can burn this in. I'm just going to MIG weld it. I don't really care on this. Don't want to TIG weld it, even though I would much rather do that. But this is easier, and I don't have to keep walking back and forth across the shop. So we'll set you guys up here-ish. Yeah, maybe I'll come farther back. Never fails. Wherever I put you guys, you're always in my way. So if I can leave you off here, then we can take a look at where this is going to end up. So, right there. As good as you get. Let me get the welder and stuff set up and try and lay some stuff out, and we'll be back. Like I said, I'm keeping the stock lower mount exactly where that's at, because I'm happy with that one. This is the original mount, which went like this, which is way too high. This will kick back over. Here's our lower mount, or upper mount, I mean. That'll drop down right into there. This needs to go here. And this needs to go here, so I can lay this out and figure out what my angle needs to be in order to make this work. So, I think what I'm going to do here is essentially overlay this, because I want this section to be up and clear the door, so I got to make sure I got enough room here. So if this stays right there, like so. This will be the angle that I need to use or cut. What I'm going to do, jam this into the center, because I'd like to keep that kind of close there. That'll clear the door. I'm going to trace a line on the back side of this, like so. That just basically gives me the angle that I need it to roughly be at. Just verify here. I know it'll change a little bit. That should get me pretty close right there. So I'm going to cut this down and we'll be back. This went over, cut the bracket on an angle, so and that'll pretty much be exactly where I need it. I'm going to weld this onto here first. So I'm going to tack this right here, swing this up to where it wants to be. I might just have to trim this down a tiny bit more on here. I undercut it so I had room to adjust, but I'm going to tack this in place first, I think. Maybe. No, you know what? I'm going to tack it on here first. It looks like I actually have a good amount of wiggle room here. My only concern now is how much gas I have left in this bottle. You know, it was getting real low yesterday, so I'm going to try our best. If this doesn't work, then I got to figure something else out. Hopefully this will ground. I'm also outside-ish. Outside enough to not be good. And the wind picked up a little bit. Feels really nice, but doesn't help for welding. If I need to tweak some stuff, we can do that too, but it's a MIG welder. It should just work. Two tacks. We'll do a quick test fit here. A little tall. I'm gonna have to take a little bit more off the bottom of this. One thing holding them in place, so I'll grind this down. Don't forget your safety glasses, kids. I say that half jokingly, but for real. Try this again. Well, that's definitely more where I want it. A couple tacks on here. Tack this top one up too. Very windy out here now. And there's roughly where that's going to sit. It goes on. You get a little bit of coverage on the license plate that I'm not thrilled about, but at least kicked up that way. It's a little bit better than it was. I still got to figure out the wheel mounting, but that'll be tomorrow's project. I'm good with that. I'm going to burn this in real quick. Turn you guys around. I'm just doing this on the floor. I don't feel like going over to the bench. There's too much crap over there. We took that Sportster apart so the motor's out, and now it's just a big old mess. And like I said, I'm real low on welding gas, so I have no idea if this is actually going to work. But we're going to try. See how far I can get. I don't MIG weld all that much anymore. This is all kind of fun and new for me. Two little porous spots where the wind picked up. That'll do. These together. Go back over now. Just like that. He's burnt in. Working. I get two tacks on the bottom of this before I go any further, and then I'll pull it off and burn that in too. glass, so I really can't do anything in terms of trying to make this work. Welding and wind don't mix very well. Alright, mounts on. Now I just gotta make the last bracket. Gonna square it up to the door. So wherever this sits flush on the door is where I'm gonna kind of make the rest of it fit. Just like that. I'll have to do some rib nuts or something in here. There's a rib on the door panel, so I'm trying to fight that a little bit. Go right in between the pinstriping here. That right there. That right there should work. Just below the rib. Burn this in real quick. I'll pop this out now. Finish welding. I'm not a welder by trade by any means, but I dabble. These welds look like absolute dog shit, and you know what? I'm okay with that. Bad when you admit your own faults, but it is what it is. Mounts are all done. I'm going to clean some of these up with the grinder. Not much, but just enough to knock down some of the real bad welds and the rust holes that I had to fill. Well, I got her done in all of her crappy weld glory. This whole thing's getting blasted and recoated. I think we're going to do like a nice metal flake baby blue or something on here to kind of accent the blue of the van. But she goes on, she fits. Tomorrow's project, I'll be making a tire carrier since this doesn't line up. I'll bring an actual aluminum wheel that we're going to be using because this bolt pattern is a little different. But essentially that'll go on there with a tire on it and should be alright. But welds look like crap, but they'll hold. Ran into a lot more rust on some of these parts than I thought there was, but burnt in, welded, good enough for me. It's got 2 bolts that are going to attach here and here, and then tomorrow I'll drill holes through the skin of the door and put some rib nuts in there to get that all mounted, but I'm good with it. At least we don't have to worry about throwing a tire on the roof anymore, so take it easy, guys.